Welcome to the show, Our Democracy, the Cjr Show. In this show, we will discuss questions of democracy, governance, elections, and other topical issues in Guyana and occurrences in countries around the world. We hope the show will be of interest to everyone. So let's begin the show. Good day. Welcome to another in the series, Our Democracy, the Cjr Show. Today, Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025. For today's podcast, I will discuss two issues. First, I will deal with the topic, no submissiveness nor acquiescence. Secondly, I will deal with another topic entitled Keeping Hope Alive. So let's dive into the first topic, no submissiveness nor acquiescence. Notwithstanding the claims and counterclaims about rigged elections in Guyana, Guyanese have grown accustomed to the polarizing nature of our politics, especially at elections time. During the campaigning period for votes and the tension that surfaces whenever the announcement of the results is imminent. What is important to acknowledge is that on the positive side, while there is always room for improvement, significant achievements have been accomplished over the years as regards our electoral laws and procedures. Those born at the end of 1980 or early 1990s would hardly know about the days when our elections were described as fairy tale elections and as crooked as barbed wire. Unless such occurrences are explained by seniors to preceding generations, they might find it hard to believe, although admittedly, it can be argued that they may have had some insights into what was told to them based on what they themselves would have observed during the March to August 2020 period. Today, as it was on the eve of the 2011 and 2015 elections, the call for and against a change of government has crept into newspaper editorials, campaign speeches, talk shows, and social media platforms. It looks as though blocks of voters were moving away from the party they traditionally supported. From all indications, the clamor for a change in government is being fed by those who seem to be afflicted by red carpet fever and a hunger for political power. Contextually, it appears as though Guyana's political landscape was being redefined by a series of centrifugal developments due to the emergence of a number of political upstarts. It was this rapidly developing political situation that raised alarm bells in some political quarters, where, on the one hand, the call for a change in government made principally by the newcomers could be heard, while on the other, warnings from others were heard cautioning traditional supporters not to gamble with their future, not to split or waste their vote, and not to succumb to vote buying. From the PVPC, a strong message was sent to its supporters that political and other forces are, quote, working to ensure that the PVPC does not have a majority in Parliament. In the midst of these newly emerging developments, some newspaper columnists and social media influencers claim that the rejection of the call for a change in government was driven by a certain degree of fear over encroachment on turf historically supportive of either the PVP or PNC. As the campaign rolls on, Voters are being told too much, if not, voters are being told that too much, if not the country's future, is at stake. In the case of the PPP, the pushback against the call for a change in government was reflected in its warnings against vote splitting. Supporters were told that the party needed 55,000 votes from Barbicians in 2025 instead of the 40,000 it received in the 2020 elections. The party further declared that this time around it has its eyes set on winning New Amsterdam, a traditional stronghold of the PNC. For a party to raise the fear of encroachment by another on its traditional support, the formulation and implementation of an effective campaign strategy against such actions must assume great urgency. Such a strategy can raise political awareness among its supporters and spur them into action to fight off any threat to its base. In the final analysis, a well-designed and organized fight back, characterized by defiance, not capitulation, in order to regain lost ground, should be the order of the day. Such actions would make a lot of sense, since people, once convinced, will easily overcome whatever their acquiescence and submissiveness would have been, and would have recognized that no action on their part can potentially impact them negatively in the long run, knowing that the upstarts are not the preferred alternative to govern the country. Let's now move to the second issue, which is keeping hope alive. Just 5 years after the whole country had witnessed the attempt by a known group to thwart the will of the electorate, followed by pitched court battles at home and abroad, buttressed by threats of sanctions against those involved, the country has turned a full circle as if it has been swallowed up by the adage, the more things change, the more they remain the same. As the country's electoral climate moves inexorably towards the September 1st, 2025 election, and within the electioneering ups and downs, there is clearly no loss of optimism. And wherever pessimism may be germinating, it is skewed and unjustified. The pessimists are among those who call for a change in government. They hold to the belief that, quote, things have not gotten better under the PPPC, with so much oil money around and from which they have not benefited, end of quote. It is a belief grounded in political bias and hyperbole, and in addition to viewing societal problems such as poverty, crime, to claims about lack of access to proper education, as well as attainment and wealth accumulation, it is not surprising that these issues are usually viewed through the tinted lens of race and ethnicity. The question is, why are the critics, pessimists, and cynics so blind to the positive developments that have occurred over the past 5 years in education, health, and housing sectors? Is it a question of the blind leading the blind? Is the former not conscious that political blindness can generate a sense of despair that is both debilitating and dangerous, and that such blindness can make things only worse and obscure actual progress? Take the question of poverty reduction. Though the word is not mentioned specifically in the PPPC Manifesto 2025 summary of key commitments by sector, a perusal of the handout issued recently at a consultative forum held in Georgetown to garner views to be included in the manifesto of the PPPC for the September 1st, 2025 election. The handout, nevertheless, shows specific areas, when implemented, where and how poverty reduction will occur, thus impacting the lives of all Guyanese. The following areas will suffice: direct support to farmers, increasing cash grants, transport support grant for students, recruiting and training more healthcare professionals, direct support for low-income construction, supporting community-based enterprise and job creation, increasing employment opportunities, access to affordable housing, dedicated support for persons with disabilities, salary increases for public servants, old age and NIS pensioners, public assistance grants, additional cash grants, affordable electricity, reducing costs of cooking gas, keeping fuel prices low, reducing food prices, and low interest rates for home ownership. The question, therefore, is, are the new hospitals, schools, bridges, roads, all-round improvements in the social sector, tax reductions, cash grants for all and sundry, increases in old age pensions, not part and parcel of a national people-centered project? Will not Guyanese of all ethnicities and social strata benefit from these tangible projects? Will these projects not facilitate the tide to rise and with it lift the MV Guyana, in which we Guyanese are all passengers? Life experience has demonstrated that the views of sections of the electorate can sometimes be misplaced and wrong, having placed their confidence and hope in the wrong people, resulting in bad decisions and outcomes. Such conditions in an election seasons, voters will be bombarded, all sides making their hopes either rise and be reassured or be misplaced or dashed. This is why in the current elections campaign, when voters hear appeals by political leaders and others from all sides, cautioning them not to gamble with their future, not to split or waste their vote, that they should mark their X next to the symbol that gives them hope, a sense of personal upliftment. They should pay close attention when casting their vote and let their conscience be their guide. This election season, let's keep hoping for the good, but in the meantime, let's all be what we hope for. Looks that this time around, people will vote not based on their racial and ethnic identity, but on which party they believe is better tuned to the overall needs and concerns. This has brought me to the end of today's show. I do hope that the topics I discussed were of interest to you. I welcome and encourage you to share your views with me on the topics I discussed today or on any other topic you may have in mind. Please look out for the CJR show every Wednesday at 5 and on Saturdays at the same time. I look forward to meeting with you once again Saturday, July 26, 2025 at 5 p.m. Please do not forget to press the like and share button and subscribe to the CJR show. Goodbye.